Mm-hmm.
We are recording? All right. How's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah, doing good.
Good.
Oh,
Just
Nick,
put the
Nick
little
fell
one
asleep
down.
He
already.
fell asleep already?
Yep.
Is it time to go to bed?
Oh,
We
Nick-
lost
Nick's
him.
asleep.
Good thing I'm.
I thought I was the old guy here now. And I have a daughter, so
Oh, there he is.
Good thing I'm streaming tonight, so we won't miss a thing. I don't want to miss a thing. What
Not
is?
falling asleep this time, guys.
He got some Viso. He's like shooting,
Ooh.
Yes,
shooting it
sir.
up,
He wants to stay up all
you're
night.
gonna be up all night.
crack in the mouth. All right.
Well, gonna be busy tonight.
Well,
Oh yeah, you are.
hello. Welcome to the Couch Co-op Show. I'm Ian. I got Jared, Nick, Dave, and Aaron with me as always. Usually always.
What up?
Sometimes, always.
Yeah.
Most of the time always. And
2 out of 3 times.
Yeah, we are the beer podcast. We are the only beer podcast, in my opinion. We take turns picking a beer every week. We drink that beer. We tell you what we think of that beer. And then we move on to the next beer. Because life's too short to drink the same beer every week. Hey, there's a good... See? There's a tag. Life's too short to drink the same beer every week. I knew we'd come up with something eventually.
Now remember it next week.
Yeah, right. Right. Anyway, you can find us on all the podcasting platforms. You can also watch us in video form on youtube.com/milkmanpictures or right on Spotify. If you go to anchor.fm/thecouchcohop show, you can leave a message. You can leave us money. I don't know. Can you leave us money still? I think you still can leave us money. I might have turned that off and said, fuck it. We're not about the money. But you might still be able to leave us money if you want. But no one leaves us money. So, and then, yeah. And anyway, it's my turn to pick beer this week. And I chose, I'm a part of the Amber Alliance, and I'm trying to bring back Ambers. So, like, in my continual quest to make Ambers a cool fucking beer again, we're drinking Fat Tire from New Belgium. Let's crack it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this one. I haven't had this beer for quite a while.
I haven't had Fat Tire.
Crack.
For a while. Cracking?
You've never had that tire?
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I have.
Oh, everyone's had this beer. This is like this is like what everyone went to after Hef, I feel like. After Hefeweizen had this big swing, everyone moved on.
It smells lovely.
I must have missed that big swing.
I've been drinking this today, so a couple. I've had a couple already, but this is a glorious beer. Look at nice amber color.
It definitely looks amber.
Oh,
It definitely tastes better than I remember it, because last time I remember having it, it kind of reminded me of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I'm just saying. It just reminded me of the last time. I like beer that doesn't taste like food as well as beer. It's like coffee is stouts. It's like I want my coffee, I want my beer. I don't want coffee in my beer.
You know what's funny? Like as a young beer drinker,
I'm not
when I was
dogging on it.
No. When I was a young beer drinker, it felt like a much more heavy beer.
I agree with
You know
this.
what I mean?
Actually.
Like as a young beer, but now it's like such a lighter beer.
Yeah.
Although
It's still pretty malty for an amber. It's got a good malt backbone to it.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
No,
it has a good body to it.
Let me tell you the story, the origin story on their website here. Fat Tire was born on a bike when our co-founder pedaled his way through Europe, sampling beer along the way. The tires on his mountain bike garnered glances and comments that inspired the name of a craft beer icon. The flavor profiles he discovered on that ride sparked the recipe for a beer he would begin to brew in his Colorado basement. Is that weird that like some European dude's like, "Oh, you got fat tires," and then it's like, "Oh, I think I should make a beer that's rubbery." Like what?
Right.
That's funny.
This is lovely though. It's
whatever got us to this point. That's
Yeah, I wonder what his actual what the process was. I'm curious what the failed attempts on this beer was.
what's interesting. This doesn't taste like 5.2. And I didn't remember it being 5.2. I always thought it was like a 4.5. But
it has some brewing notes. Fat Tire's unique flavor profile originates from the 1930s Belgium. During this era, small breweries began offering easy drinking beers crafted with signature Belgian yeast in order to satisfy the taste of visiting British soldiers. Today, Fat Tire delivers drinkers everywhere a flavorful, balanced beer with a fresh, herbal hop profile, fine malt presence, and a touch of fruity yeast make it a timeless beer with broad appeal. ABV 5.2, IBU 22, calories 160, yeast, house ale yeast, hops, Willamette, Goldings, and Nugget, and malt is pale, C80, Munich, and Victory. There's everything I know about the beer.
Now I know everything.
And the hops are Willamette, I believe, on this one.
Yeah, hops, Willamette, Goldings, and Nugget. There are 3 different hops.
It has Goldings and Nugget.
A couple weekends ago, I was driving up I-5 and saw those hop farms in the Willamette Valley, and they're just about ready to chop. They're very full.
Here's an interesting thing. They're owned by an Australian brewery that's owned by an Australian holding company that is then owned by Kirin.
Oh boy!
So
not a holding.
Yeah. So New Belgium.
What a scenic route.
Quite a scenic route, but yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I remember when I first got into home brewing when I came to the US after college, and it was probably 04, 05, and I was just beginning to get some set up. This was one of the beers that everyone wanted to clone, if you know what I mean. It was like this, Lagunitas IPA, and those were the 2 that people were always like, I want to make a beer that tastes like that.
It's funny, even those back in those days, like the IPA thing really hadn't hit yet. People were drinking, but it's like, that fucking that Fat Tire neon sign in bars. I just remember seeing it everywhere. Yeah. It was fucking everywhere. It's crazy.
I remember when I worked at Columbia. That beer, the New Belgium, it was still just a giant behemoth. And I remember one of the displays. They actually had one of the signature beach cruisers as part of their displays. It was like this. I remember at work they actually raffled off one of the beach cruisers as a prize at work. I'm like, okay, I really want that bike. It's so cool. It's like the red and white with the little Fat Tire logo on the side and the little Fat Tire emblem in the front, where the right below the handlebars, and the fat beach cruiser tires with the white walls around them. Like, oh, I want to win that so bad, and I forgot I couldn't be able to take it home because the bike was bigger than my car at the time.
It's kind of crazy how
somehow it wound up in Ty Meisner's garage.
Yeah,
I think
probably.
I just think it's
interesting. I think only Jared and Aaron only know who that person is, but I don't know.
Anyway. Yeah, screw him.
I just think it's interesting how far this beer has kind of fallen. I remember you used to be able to get 12 packs of this everywhere, and now you can barely find a 6-pack of it. You know,
my mother-in-law used to drink. This was all she drank for a number of years.
It's funny. It's just weird to me. It's
it's in all the stores I go to.
No, it's in my Safeway, but it's not in a 12-pack. It's just It's just a 6-pack that sits there, and
is it still available in cans?
I haven't seen it in cans.
No.
I mean, not that I want it in cans, because I was like,
no, it's only 6-packs.
The bottle was the best, but I had it in cans and it wasn't as good. And there was even a time where I had it at Old Chicago on draft.
I remember that.
It didn't taste the same. It tasted super nutty, and it wasn't the same, and I didn't like it on draft. And of course, maybe they just hadn't cleaned their lines or something.
Maybe that's quality control.
When I had it on draft, it was not very good. And
as someone that sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just basically wrapping up saying that's just Fat Tire in a glass bottle has always been my best experience.
In my experience as a draft person once upon a time, there's a lot of bars that barely ever clean their tavern heads, specifically their tavern heads, not even considering their lines. Who knows? But just looking in the back of some of those coolers, the tavern heads are the most disgusting part of it, and that's what contaminates a keg is the tavern head.
Well, the line doesn't help matters either. I've heard horror stories from our friend Jason, who brewed that 8-bit beer that we had a while back, and he did Acropolis, and oh my God, I guess that was like one of the worst places for tap cleaning and
But
replacing.
they do
I
a
guess it
good
was just like,
steak.
Do they?
Well, yeah.
yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
it's
think
amazing.
so,
It's good
but
for what it's worth.
that's what they advertise.
Everyone
isn't it?
says that.
They
but
do
I
a
think,
cheap steak.
Yes.
I think they're
That's good.
anyone who eats it are just fucking trashed at that point. It's like, oh, I need some food, and then you eat that. And it's like, oh, this is the best fucking steak. But I don't think if you were to go there, like being like, hey, I want a good steak, and then you make it, it's like, what is this? I don't think.
Yes.
So
I'm only kidding.
Chart house or A crop?
Hey,
I've had
from
this
fat,
argument.
I love to ride my bicycle with fat tires all the way to A crop. Anyway.
Okay. See some fat bottom girls.
Yep. I was going to say
They
something.
make the rocket world go around.
Bicycle race.
Bump.
No, but this leads me to my point of the whole amber thing. Like, it's really fallen off. Like, because of the IPA dominance and the juicy and the hazy and the. It's just like it's a kind of.
Well, I feel
forgotten beer in some regards.
I feel like on the juicy thing, when it was done right, it was almost like going back towards like they were trying to use the hops to make it more like a fruity beer. So it was more like the malt in this is very malt forward. The hops are kind of in the background a bit. And I felt like when they started with some of the juicy IPAs, the ones I really like are actually the ones that aren't bitter. And they're actually more like drinking an orange juice or something.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
But it's gotten lost in all that. This beer, this type of beer.
Yes.
I mean, not just Fat Tire, but
like
Amber's
Full Sail,
or Mac and Jacks, or or Alaskan for that matter. I mean, they're all solid ambers. You have your favorite depending, but I just feel like this style of beer is like. I feel like New Belgium just holds it on. They just keep making it, but I don't feel like they don't. I don't think they make the money they used to off of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure the volume's gone down drastically. Yes.
And part of it, honestly, is, I mean, yeah, like you say, it's just been took over by IPAs. And
yeah.
So
IPAs,
do you think it's dormant or
lagers.
working on being extinct?
I don't think it's. I don't know. That's a hard.
I
thing.
don't think they push it as much as they used to, but it's also not the hot new thing in the beer market either. It's like most. You see that all the time.
But could it come back around? Could it come back around in popularity? Where
I don't think so.
Like some of the other styles.
I think it potentially could.
I was reading today that the latest style is like the double dry hopped double IPAs, and I'm like, okay, those beers are fun, but you can only have one of those when they're 8-point-something%.
My feeling, like if we talk about that, I don't know if we talked about this. I don't know if we talked about this last week, but when I was at Total Wine, and I really feel it, like the sour thing is becoming huge. Yes. And then there are certain sours that are like at Total Wine. They have like the 4-pack tall boys.
Also
it's like $30 for these like
very expensive
fucking sour like slushy flavors from the. It's just like I feel like that is the new crazy like beer, and it's like, man, I want nothing to do with that. Jared probably digs it, but I don't think Jared's gonna spend $30 for a 4-pack.
No, as much as I love sours, I'm not gonna overspend for.
But I feel like that's the new it beer, or they're trying to make it the it beer, because I mean, there's so many sours out there right now.
Yeah, I was reading about a new brewery today, and it was like the beer lineup was double dry hopped lagers and the like sour what do they call them, like not sippy cup, but I can't remember what they call them, but the fruit sour beers kind of thing.
I think we've done a couple dry hopped beers. We were not a fan of the level dry hopped Pilsner or whatever the fuck that was. We were not a fan of that beer.
No.
And
I didn't know.
What idiot suggested that one?
Was that you?
Question.
I don't remember who that was.
No.
Good question.
We were not a fan of that beer, though. Oh yeah.
No.
So that was before Nick was on the show, and that was just the four of the OG members, I guess. Anyway, I mean, it's drinkable. It's not. I think the amber is a completely drinkable taste. Like, I feel like sometimes IPA becomes like this, like, You remember like back in high school when you'd be like your friends would be like, "Here, have an atomic warhead. Can you eat the sour?" I feel like IPA becomes a bit of that nuclear warhead type of, "Oh, will you drink it? You're gonna love it because and you're gonna take it." It's like hot sauce in a way. Like how hot can it get? Like it's like
right.
At some point it just becomes like, I love hot sauce on things, but at some point it becomes unenjoyable. You're not enjoying it. It's just pure heat, like the bomb sauce that you've got.
Right.
Pure hatred.
Yeah.
So like, where is the big? Like, what about just well-made beer or a recipe? Just that's why I think amber is such an underrated, like a gem of a beer that I don't think enough people respect anymore. And I'm trying to bring it back. So Amber Alliance. Anyway, you don't have to all love this beer. I mean, there's a lot of other ambers there's a lot of ambers that are better than this one. I just wanted to like,
I do love this beer. It's its own thing. It's its own flavor, and it's a good flavor.
I've been buying quite a bit of it actually lately, so I don't know.
So this used to be when I had Wednesdays off. This used to be my first. Tuesdays were my first Friday of the week, and 6-pack of this was always in order for the first Friday.
I never really used to drink it. Like it used to be kind of like, oh, that's what those guys drink, and I was like, meh.
Yeah, I used to get it once in a while, but because my mother-in-law always had it, like I'd usually have one when I was over there, kind of thing,
But I think that's a part of it. I think your taste buds do change, and I feel like obviously, in my younger years, I was just a hard alcohol, blow my brains out drinker, and then my beer journey, my taste buds have evolved, and I just
feel like I'm moving back towards the 5% is like where I want my beers to be, not like because the other day I had
5, 6.
I got some IPAs and they were 7.8% each, and it was just like, it was okay. Like it was a really good beer. Don't get me wrong. It was just like after 2 of them, I was like, oh, I better slow down.
I mean,
right.
Fat Tire or Space Dust. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Space Dust is what, 8 something?
8 something,
like
8.2.
Yeah, there.
8.2.
Yeah, I was having some last week because I bought a 12-pack. It was ill-advised.
Ill-advised.
That bit.
But yeah, it was just I had one.
It doesn't so much sneak up on you as like hit you over the head.
Yeah, well, not so much that. It was just I opened one and I just decided to have it with dinner, and then I looked at the label and it was like 8.2. It was like,
well, good thing you're eating.
Wow,
yeah, right.
Well, right, but I mean, I'm sitting here drinking 8.2% of trash, and I now have to kind of limit myself.
Endure the rest,
All right, so we're all done with our beers, right?
Oh yeah, Jared's on a timetable here.
Yeah.
He's trying to get us.
No.
Okay, let's rate it. Any final thoughts?
Move along. No,
this was beautiful and malty, and the hops were in balance with it. It just refreshing.
I love how
nice
malty
flavor.
it is.
I mean,
but look, considering it's been around for like 30 years.
Yeah, bring on the grains.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a big thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up here. Ian gave it a thumbs up. Dave, thumbs up. Oh, Aaron's the only sideways thumb. So we got
fair.
4.5. Yeah,
4.5. That's a good review.
That's good. Awesome.
I was hoping for 4, so I'm happy.
Honestly, what I would like, what this makes me want to do is it makes me want to get the Full Sail and the and do a taste test of all of them side by side, because I do like
Alaskan.
Yeah, Mac and Jack's and Alaskan.
Amberpalooza.
I do enjoy these beers, and it's like I just don't know which one I enjoy most. It's like if I went to the store, I'd want to reach for one of them. But
I really like the Full. I would choose the Full Sail one over this one, I think. But Mac and Jack's is also really strong. Alaskan is my bottom. Alaskan is my bottom pick.
I don't know if I'm sure I've had Alaskan. I just need to try it again.
Sounds like a future episode, doesn't it?
It's got to be on draft, not in a can. Mac and Jack's.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
All right, Fat Tire. What video game, Ian, are you going to pick for this? And you know what? I was trying to think of bicycle video games.
Tour de France.
No, but see, I've never played that. And I was thinking of like the game. What is the game you have, Jared? The Ubisoft one?
Oh, Riders Republic.
But I haven't played it, so I have to think.
You should.
What game? I know, but what game have I spent the most time riding a bicycle on? And so I'm going to pair this.
I know which one it is.
Do you? Okay.
GTA 5?
No, not 5.
No, it's going to be
4?
GTA San Andreas, isn't it?
That's right, baby. That's right.
I knew it had to be a GTA
because
game.
that had the weight thing where you would get fat and you would eat. If you rode a bicycle, you get exercise.
You had to exercise in game. I never played. For some reason, San Andreas is the one that I missed of that series. But
I played it. I beat it. But I just remember that being a big deal, and I just remember riding the bicycle around.
It's the only protagonist that can swim too.
Grove Street. Yeah. Anyway, I live on G Street. He lives in Grove Street, so we're kind of similar. Anyway, not quite. But yeah, so that's what game I'm pairing this beer with. Jared, what beer are we drinking next week?
It's Golden Road's Wolf Pup IPA, Session IPA.
I like this beer.
Yeah.
It's tasty.
Yeah, we've all drank this one.
I'm
pretty sure.
I've had it.
I haven't.
I did it. Milkman. I did a Milkman drinks a beer.
All right.
But
cool.
Because I think Jared gave me 2.
Lazy Day beer.
I did.
Yeah, this is a beer I've actually bought a couple of times.
So there you go.
Yeah,
Next week, listeners, if you want to play along and drink a beer with us, get the Wolf Pup Session IPA, and when the episode comes out, Golden Road, crack it, pour it in a glass, and then you can listen and drink along.
Yep.
Anywho,
moving back into fall, so we'll get to the stouts soon.
Yeah, well, it's still a little. I imagine it's gonna be warm in through September, but yeah, it's gonna start getting peanut butter stout weather.
Let's go. I'll bring on all the nasties for you boys.
All the nasties. I could do with like a chocolate mint. I'd be up for a chocolate mint stout.
The Guinness chocolate mint?
I could try it. I'll try it. I haven't had one. Is there one? If there's one out there, I'd try it.
Yeah, there was a Guinness chocolate mint last year.
Oh, okay.
I
Anyway.
think I've seen that one.
I'll be gone that week.
I'll be gone.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be absent. It's just going to be Ian and I for that episode.
Well, everybody, speaking of absent, don't be absent on listening to our podcast and leaving us reviews.
Yes.
We could really use that feedback, and you can find us on all the podcasting platforms. We're free, so you don't have to spend any money on us. You can go to anchor.fm/The Couch Co-op Show, and you can leave a voice message right there on the site. Super easy, and we will play it on the show. If you record it, we'll play it. I promise you. You can also find video versions on YouTube, youtube.com/MilkmanPictures, or Spotify has video apps. So if you have the Spotify app on your PC and you play us, it'll pop open a video window, and then you can watch us. Because it's very important that you watch us, because so much is going on.
We're a very entertaining bunch.
Very handsome.
Handsome. This is a bunch of sexy studs.
Yeah, we got like 4 handsome guys, and then there's me.
4 dudes in a bedroom and 1 guy in a garage. What does that even say? I guess technically I'm in a basement, but
we got
anyway, I want to thank Jared, Nick, Dave, and Aaron for joining me here on the couch for Couch Co-op. Jared,
beer excellent with each other.
Nice.
There you go.
What was the tag I came up with at the beginning of the show?
Exactly.
Okay, goldfish.